Damn, babe, you took the vape. We are officially live on YouTube.
Let's go.
Welcome to the motherfucking reggae show. Craze Boogie is here.
Great.
Jayla did not make it today.
You know,
She sent in her absent notice.
she did?
You know the notice that you send in to the teacher. When your parents had to write you a letter. She's absent. Yeah, I got it today, so it's fine. Our guest today is, I don't want to say Latino artist, just an artist, Richy
Yeah.
Rich,
I
A dope
appreciate it.
fucking artist. Florida artist. Florida.
Florida, Hialeah's own,
Let's go.
Miami stand up,
Yes,
305,
sir.
uh, Cuban, heavy Cuban influence. We're gonna
Let's
talk
go.
about that.
Ooh.
Richie, welcome to the show, my brother. Welcome to the
Richy
show.
Rich.
Thank you for having me, my brother. You already know.
At Richy Rich 305.
At Richie Rich 305. Oh,
Yo, you're
Jayla's
Cuban?
coming.
You're Cuban? 100% Cuban?
I am Cuban. I was born in Hialeah Hospital, so that's kind of the same as saying you're
Oh,
born
it's
in
already,
Cuba.
yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Nah, not really. Nah, I was born, like I said, I was born here, and my family is 100% Cuban for sure
So for
on
those
both
of
sides.
you who don't know what Hialeah is, Jayla's about to join us. So Hialeah is equivalent to Washington Heights.
For the Cuban
If you
community.
for the Cuban community, if you live
Exactly.
in Florida and you live in Hialeah, 90% of the chances that you're Cuban. Jayla Sandoval has
Jayla,
decided to show up today.
breakfast.
She's
Radio.
here.
I was waiting
Breaking
for that.
news.
I was expecting that.
Oh, you got a cold too?
Well, I decided thinking, since I've been doing a little celebrations here and there, I thought it would be a great idea and awesome mom idea of mine to, take the kids to the pool. My friend was in town from New York. It's been a little chilly in Florida. I'm really particular with those things. But it wasn't bad. We had great weather. The problem is that the pool was warm because it's a heated pool. So it went into the night hours. So
Now
when
she's
you
just
go
gonna
into the
subtly brag
pool,
about her heated pool.
like no, but
I'm
it's,
gonna stop you right
it's
there.
not
Yeah,
mine. It's my neighborhood's.
I'm gonna
Like I'm
stop
not
you
the
right.
only one that
I'm gonna
gets to
stop you right there.
enjoy it.
Just,
I'm gonna stop you right there. This kind of story where it's like you're acting as if this is a trauma that you're experiencing,
Traumatizing
all this
event.
privilege that you got,
Richie,
all this pool privilege,
No,
to
I'm
our
just
show.
pool
saying.
privilege.
I'm just no. Whoa. See, you guys always misconstrued everything. Just because y'all want to pick on me, I'm not letting that shit rock right now. So I'm gonna
Let's
say
go.
it real quick.
Let's go.
I'm gonna say it. No. I made a wrong Latina mon move. I let the tequila warm me up, the warm pool warm me up, and I didn't listen to my mother like I should have, which is no salga afuera cuando hay un viento. Y me pegó el viento y ahora estoy comiendo mierda. Así de fácil.
Damn.
Well,
Damn.
we're glad.
Jayla, this
you're
is
able to
Richie
join us.
Rich.
Nice
Hey,
to
Richy.
meet
This
you.
is here.
Richie, this is our third co-host. You got the whole team now
Yeah,
officially.
Yo, she definitely went into like Florida mom mode right now, but I love it. Yo,
She's from
Hey.
Florida, so
Listen, and y'all ain't gonna get it. I have to fly all the way to New York if you say something slick. Richie got to agree with me. I see a 305 somewhere in there. I see a Florida Marlins hat on there.
yes.
Don't make me come find you if you don't agree with me.
You already know. Yo, Richie, is that still true about Hialeah? Like, cause I feel like Washington Heights, right, is different in a way that, like, I feel like gentrification up here, really, like now the Heights, it's still really Dominican, but it's not the same Heights. Like the culture, I feel like is not the same as I would
it's
say
the hippie
15
Dominicans
years
that
ago.
live in Washington.
Yeah, I feel like there's still some of it. I'm not gonna say it's gone, but I feel like it's not the same vibe of Dominican culture that it used to be. You think Hialeah has it kind of like retained that?
It's evolved. I mean, it's always under construction, but it's evolved. And that's something that, like I said, there's a lot of Cubans, but there's a lot of everything in Hialeah. Like you'll see Dominicans, you'll see Colombians, you'll see Venezuelans. That's the thing about Miami. Like, yes, it is primarily like like Cuban influenced. Even a lot of people that are not Cuban, that are Colombian and Puerto Rican, they'll speak with like a Cuban lingo if they're from that area. You
Yo,
know what I'm
I'm not
saying?
gonna front. I was just gonna say, because I'm Central American. I was just dating a Central American, but he lives in Hialeah and he don't speak no Central American Spanish.
No,
He
se
speaks
te
Cuban
pega a
Spanish.
little bit, you know?
He's
So,
Cuban Spanish, like for
yeah.
sure, 100%.
Is that
So-
accent is kind of fly too? So it feels like I feel like that shit's kind of contagious. I feel
It
like that
is
shit
a
about the
little bit.
Mexican accent too. Sometimes like that shit gets you be
Yeah,
around it. You be
100%.
around it enough that you kind of like, yo, you know what? I like this shit. I'm gonna use a few.
So, welcome to the show. You've been on it for 10 minutes, and we haven't asked you.
I think this is a good. This is my favorite.
Rick,
I think that question from
you've been
Hialeah though
watching-
was good.
You've been watching the menu too long. That's why.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. I do. So you see, you were talking smack about us not supporting you and Craze. We listened to it.
Nah, he was speaking about the XM radio show
Always.
and about you before you logged on, which is why when you logged on, I was like, oh,
Boy.
This is me.
So Richy Rich on the menu next.
Let's make it happen.
I appreciate it.
So who is Richy Rich? Let's get this ball rolling.
Well, my name is Richard Gomez, born in Hialeah
Ay,
Hospital.
Dios mío.
So Richy Rich is my artist name, but Richie's always been what my family refers to me as. So it's not really, it's not like an artist name so much for me. And I started making music when I was like 15, 16 years old, more as like a hobby and something fun to do. But progressively, the more I did it, I started getting more invested and I felt it was more something that I wanted to pursue as a career the more that I did it. And it really got in. I got my foot in the door more making beats. That was always my forte is production. So Richy Rich really stands more for not just as an artist, but my big thing is I really like making beats. I like building, you know, the canvas that the artist is gonna paint on. So
Yo, we got a glimpse of that shit on the Cuban Connection.
So you recently collaborated with Don Dinero on the Cuban Connection, the album. We had Don Dinero on what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, January, late January, I think it was. No, it was around the time the album came out. And I was like, yo, I really like Richie on the record. Craig said it too. And he's like, yeah, he produced some of the songs. Like 6 songs on the record, right?
like 7 of them.
7 of them.
Yeah.
So
7
if
of
you
them.
want to hear Richy Rich, download that album. The entire album is fire.
Fire, bro.
I appreciate it. Big
I'm
time.
not telling you because he's on the show. He's on the show because the album is fire.
Yeah, man.
Like I reached out to him, like, yo, I need to talk to you about it.
Thank you.
But what got you into music? Like what specific genre? I mean, you're Cuban, so I imagine you listen to a lot of
even though, I mean, my parents always played that stuff when I was in the house and stuff like that or at family parties, but believe it or not, even living in Miami, a lot of people my age, we grew up a lot on what's rap and hip hop like in the 90s. So we would hear a lot of Jay-Z, a lot of New York, East Coast, like how you were saying names like Big L and stuff like that before, you know, like I grew up on a lot of that stuff. My favorite rapper is Jay-Z. So imagine, you know,
what better rapper to look up to?
Yeah, he's definitely
he
the
laid
greatest.
the blueprint.
Yo, have you heard his new thing
with Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah, the Nipsey one.
I have not heard that record yet.
Yo,
I know he's up for the
good.
Hall of Fame.
I fuck with it. I fuck with it.
It is good.
I fuck with Nip. You know, I've always fucked with Nip.
So
it's from the soundtrack of
the movie Judas.
It's a movie.
I haven't seen it
Yeah.
yet, so
sorry,
I'm waiting for the weekend to come so I can have time to do it. But so you got into music, that was your influence. And when you started out, you were telling me like Cuban Link, Big Pun, you were a Latino making hip hop. You weren't like crossing it over.
Nah, I always did English music. That was always my thing. I never really, even though I spoke Spanish well, I never thought about mixing the two, or I thought about just focusing on the one thing that I'm doing and trying my best to do that one thing the best I could instead of inventando and mixing things. But to be honest, that was the best advice that he could have gave me was that De Niro could have gave me was that because not only do I feel I've gotten the best response from that, but it's helped me grow because it almost puts you, it makes you uncomfortable because you're doing something new. You know, it's not your regular routine or the regular formula that you're used to working on. So
It takes you out your comfort zone in a way.
exactly.
I'm not gonna. This is not a comparison, but many people don't know Mark Anthony didn't grow up on salsa. He
True.
didn't really like salsa. He was more of a freestyle person. He wanted to make freestyle. He was into freestyle and R&B. He just so happened to get into it, and he was not in a comfort zone making the music. And then at the beginning, a lot of like salsa people were like, "That you're not real salsa," and he took a lot of flack for it. So it's
And
kind of
right
like
now,
in
and
that
right
space
now, when they speak about salsa, it's Mark Anthony
Mark.
and salsa.
Mhm.
Yeah, straight up.
So
So it's kind of like you're in that space right now. Um,
it's definitely something new. It's something new, and I enjoy it. I feel like I'm playing with a new toy. So
That's dope.
it's
and
just
producer side of it is more sounds to mess with, more
a
influences.
100%. It's a whole new world.
What do you
So
have more fun doing? Like, do you have more fun making the? I mean, initially when you're making the beat, you have an idea of the melody and some of the lyrics.
yeah, I'd have to say I have more fun making like the Cuban trap, I guess you can say, or Latin hip hop, only because you're mixing, you know, it's something that's a little more danceable. So even somebody that's of an older age group and would say no to maybe some rap or some hip hop when they hear it mixed with something that they hear, you know, they're like, oh well, that doesn't sound so bad,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know.
True.
So I have more fun with that because I feel like it appeals to more than just like a specific age group or a genre.
Would you produce a record that wasn't necessarily for you, where let's take Rosalia for example. She came to the studio, and not like she's a mega star, but she does a different genre of music than you do. She's like,
Yeah,
Richie, I
no, I
love your
work
sound. Would you dabble in other genres?
definitely. Oh, I already have. That's
Mm.
I feel like that's my strength is my diversities, my ability to walk in and you can kind of tell me, yo, I want to make a merengue record to give you an idea.
Mhm.
And we can do that. You know, if you wanted to make a salsa record, we can do that with live horns and live instruments. If you wanted to make a
A
rap or a
record
hip hop
from
record,
Costa Rica. What they listen to in Costa
Yo, I'm
Rica?
gonna have to holler at you. We're gonna have to make a corrido.
Or corrido.
Mexican corrido.
Corrido is actually that's some LA thing
see,
that Craze
there's a
plays.
new Cuban kid that right now he's running around promoting that real hard and he's moving hard with it.
Bro, I'm trying to get into that promotion, the corrido
But
You
promotion.
know,
it's even like cubatón. Like cubatón is like
Yo,
not
What is that? Explain that to
international.
me.
It's not international, but it
no, it's
is like
not.
down here. Like I know at the station, like they play it a lot. Like they have that influence, like, and it's starting to pick up. Just like at one point, different fusions have picked up in the West Coast, like corrido and stuff like that. I know that might be over there, but for here, I feel like for Florida, especially South Florida, Miami, it's a lot of cubatón. I mean, they have a whole radio station. SBS has a whole radio station for cubatón.
Yeah. Well, when me and De Niro went to go perform at the Cuban festival in Jersey, we were, I think, probably the only people rapping like rapping hip hop music at that festival.
And everything
So
else was like
I
going
mean,
yeah,
it's
something else.
definitely a thing. These genres are definitely evolving, and I
yeah.
just think it's having people. We live in a world full of trends where everybody sounds alike
hmm
right now. Everybody wants to look alike. Everybody wants the same material bullshit. Everybody wants the numbers on the gram. So when you're doing something like cubatón or fusions or even music in your own sound, it's hard to stick. You know what I mean? It's hard not to stick, but to stay true to that. And
a
and
100%.
and especially when right now there's so many easy way out. You know what I mean? You can be a lambon and go try to get a track with whoever, but is that really going to be your longevity, your
Would
your
Richie
legacy?
Rich do a cumbia record, for example? Will we ever hear Richie rap on a cumbia record? Are you that
If
adventurous?
the
with
road
your-
leads that way, then yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna put
no,
it past me. I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't do it, you know. But
bro, I think one of the things that I look at it as is that I love the fusion, a lot of the fusion shit, you know, because I feel the way that I think some of this music that we grew up on is gonna survive is by like bridging it with some other shit.
Basically,
Like
yeah.
kids, like my son, right? Like now he's gotten into some older salsa and like bachata records because I played a couple songs like that Bad Bunny song that has the sample, the fucking the típico sample, you know, like the bachata guitar on it.
Oh,
mhm.
the one
I
with
forget the song, but you know, I kind of like, and I showed him kind of like where that kind of sound comes from, and he kind of went, you know, back in time, and I was listening to some of that stuff, and I feel like that's what I appreciate about what you guys did on Cuban Connection, that you guys took some of those old records, some of that old sound, and kind of brought, you know, with some fucking nice drums, like a kind of a trap sound to it, and I feel like that opens that shit up. I love that shit, but I can see,
But I have
you
a
know, I know
question.
there's a purist kind of point of view about certain things, but I feel like shit evolves, bro. I feel like I love it.
100%.
But what do you think on the other half of it? Because there's people who absolutely love when you hit a sample and
Yeah.
it reminds them and it brings them back. But then you have the other side of the spectrum that
That
are
they're
more
gonna talk shit
that
about
are
it.
more
So
vocal and they talk a lot of shit about it. It's a lot of pressure to do a good sample or good cover to something. Like how do you maneuver through that?
there's a million good musicians in the world. I can find you right now 100 guys that'll pick up this guitar we have here in the studio and rip it apart, and we can make a crazy beat. But how many people can grab something from that guitar and mix it in with a sample from a song that was from 1995 and make it sound like it's all the same song? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Like, I feel like there's a talent in that too. It's not just so much, oh, he copied this, or some people do. I mean, I'm not gonna put it past some people. Some people do grab an idea and completely just duplicate the idea over again. And I do criticize that to an extent, because in my opinion, it should be altered or
new.
changed. You need to make it yours. You know what I'm saying? So, but that Babalu Aye record on the Cuban Connection album, to give you an idea, that record, he had asked me to make a San Lázaro song. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got scared of that at first, and I was like, man,
Why?
like, you know, because it's a delicate subject. I mean, I
Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
in San Lázaro, and I come from the Cuban heritage, which believes and knows what that's about. But there's a lot of people that don't, and they classify that with something else,
Mhm.
and for many other reasons. And he told me, he's like, yo, just do your thing, whatever. And that's what we came up with. But long story short, since we were talking about mixing samples with songs and stuff like that, on that Babalu Aye record, we mix in the percussion sample of Viejo Lázaro, which is a salsa song about San Lázaro. So like, we sample a song about San Lázaro on the San Lázaro song,
That's
And I
fine.
and I feel
to
like
give you an idea.
that type of creativity and like, you know, that mixing of shit is, I think, a dope part of the process.
I
And
mean,
people's always gonna judge it. You know, I get what Jayla's saying, and I think, you know, some people will try to make the determination whether you did the justice and
That's why. But one thing is for sure, when they listen to it, they can't tell me it sounds like the salsa song. It doesn't
no,
sound nothing like
I
the
didn't. I
salsa
didn't know
song.
that
You know
fact
what
till
I'm
you
saying?
just said it.
Some
Yeah.
people won't even know that the sample I used of the like the percussion that you hear, like the bongos and los timbales in the background and all that, like that comes from Viejo Lázaro, a song that's about San Lázaro. But like melodically, it doesn't sound like that song at all whatsoever. So
So,
they can never hit me with, oh, you copied, you know what I'm saying? Or like, it doesn't sound nothing like that shit. So
the song is fantastic. It's fire.
Yeah,
I
The
man.
appreciate it.
Latino
visual,
Americano.
the visual.
That's true.
Well, we're gonna go into the video, because the video is amazing. Well, the picture's right behind me. The video is amazing. Talk about why. Like, I know my wife was born on December 17th. I know the whole story, but talk about why Cubans are so connected with that saint specifically.
It's he's a really miraculous saint, and he's someone that historically they've always gravitated to him, because he's the saint of the poor and the sick, you know. And and he's someone that you know, as long as you're not asking for money and you're what you're asking for is something that is something good, he always comes through, you know. And at least for me, I have my personal experiences, as I'm sure many other Cubans have theirs, and why they believe in that. But definitely, it is something very big in the Cuban community, and that's definitely why we made the record to begin with.
Mm.
So, like, I have the because I had to go back because there's songs that like on my own I love a lot, but that doesn't have the that's a like more of a hip hop record. It doesn't have like it's not like Plug in Cuba, Ella. It's not like Yo Quiero Volar, Sueño Americano. Sueño Americano to me is like some laid back. I actually picture an LA scene, a lowrider, the shit blasting, and you just chilling.
Yeah,
Um,
that song right there, it sounds like some like old poppy music, almost
yeah,
like you know what I'm saying?
but
Like,
it's fire. Like the trumpets on it are
yeah,
fire.
that's what we were shooting
The
for, you know,
chorus
because
on it is fire. Like it goes well with.
we already did more of that very strong Cuban piano with, like, you know, we've done
Mhm.
that quite a bit, so we wanted to try also something that's like I said, like more of like an elegant vibe, you know.
I also like the fact that you guys educate on Cuban culture, because in the
Yeah.
chorus, Don Dinero says, "Dime qué pasa USA."
Oh
Now, "Qué
yeah,
pasa USA" was a very
Classic
it's a
fucking
popular
show.
television show that
classic
a
show.
lot of Cubans used to watch. Not just Cubans, a lot of Latinos.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love the Babalu Aye record. Um, damn, you on a lot of these songs. Yo quiero volar with my brother Torres
With the
on it doing the
homie,
hook,
Yo.
with the homie, doing the chorus. Actually, that was the first
we
record.
got a lot more too on the way. He's been working, so
Yeah,
he's been putting in that work.
he had a lengthy conversation. He told me he's going back. He left music for a little while, but he's going back. Explain
Timing
to
is everything, bro. And
it is.
what better moment than right
And
now?
now,
He's beyond talented, and now with the tools and the people we have around us, bro, you know,
so,
everybody just needs to do what they already doing.
so let's talk about the transition. You've made this transition. So you've been with De Niro and doing this Latin fusion type of hip hop for a year and a half, right?
Yes, sir.
What's that process like now? Because it's different from when you're just making hip hop. Usually you come up with like you have like a verse. I always had like a verse, and then the chorus would come afterwards. Then I'd have to figure out if I'm gonna do three or
I
four
mean, you're
verses.
talking about your process, Rick.
But yeah, but I'm saying it's a different process now that he's trying to influence like because I for me it was hard to write in Spanish and English.
It is
So
a
No,
what's
little
that?
difficult because
Yeah.
imagine not everything plugs in, but the good part
No.
is that a lot of stuff does too. So you just gotta, you know,
you
work
know,
around it. But at least from a creative process, I focus, like I said, more on the production because I feel like that's 95% of the battle.
Yeah.
I feel like today's society, unfortunately, they shade away from what's the substance. We used to call it like a Big L rapper right now. He's
lyrical.
Yeah.
not gonna sell what a
They're
Lil
not,
Pump
they're
rapper
not
right now is
focused
gonna do,
lyrically.
Yeah.
huh?
They're not, it's like they're not focused lyrically anymore. Like before you fall in love with a song for the lyrics, like, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, the beat is
Or the
fire.
story.
But like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
wasn't what caught you. It was the attention, like it was the storyline. It was, so like that's what caught you. And like
Like
for
I remember this Big L line because when you said Big L, man, Big L to me is like holy grail of like rappers. He has a line that he says, "This rap game without me is like China without rice, crackheads without pipes, or the Holy Bible without Christ."
wow.
Like, bro, like that's like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like I feel like a lot of rappers today, there's no substance, and I'm not, you know, speaking about anybody in specific. I'm
Yeah.
generalizing, but
Yeah.
I feel
I don't
like
think it's
there
only,
is
I don't think
Yeah.
it's only in music though. I think that you
I
can,
think is
it's
in
can
the
every form of
here's
entertainment has
yeah.
gotten watered
what
down
you
to an
say.
extent. Yeah.
It's like before there would be, like poets and, you'd get all these poetry books. And even as a kid, you would read like all, the big books, and that would be cooler than reading like these novels and stories that you had to read, but in different aspects. But even like the substance on social media, the substance on YouTube, like this on TV. You like TV, God forbid, before you would go, especially as a woman, half naked, because it would just be a bad look. Now you can't be on TV if you're not half naked.
100%. Back in the day, you used to wonder how they looked under the dress, and now you just see them from day one, just like that. You know, it's definitely. I feel the same way. More for music because it's my world, but definitely I see what you're saying, and you see it every day. Imagine
So you make it a
that's
point
what
to,
the industry has kind of become is a numbers game. How you guys were saying, it's not so much about how talented somebody is, how many talented people you know that aren't doing anything right now.
so
You
as
know?
far as you make it a point to put a story behind it or put some substance behind your lyrics and your music. Is that so? What do you do when you wanna? Because me, I used to listen and Craze too. We would listen to other people to get like inspiration. Jay
Yeah.
Z said one time,
100%. I do that all the time. I'm a fan before I'm an artist. I mean,
yeah.
whoever says they're an artist and they're not a fan of nobody's music is lying.
So
Because
what do you listen to as far as like just English hip hop to get you in the
I have
zone?
a
Right now, what are
pretty.
you listening to? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
I listen to, man. I like Lil Baby. I like Moneybagg Yo. On some days I'll listen to NBA YoungBoy, and then I'll listen to Eminem, bro, and then I'll listen to Jay-Z, and then I'll listen to Rick Ross, and then like some days I'll go 3 days that I'm listening to different Kanye albums, like, and then I'll have maybe 2 weeks that is nonstop Spanish music to give
So
you
if
an
I'm gonna
idea,
put you
you
on an
know.
island and I'm allowing you to take 10 records that are not yours, give me 5 of those 10.
Five, five, yeah, five.
Five
That's fine.
records that I would have to
So you
listen
you
to.
have other 5 to play with if you don't mention it.
Man, that's tough because man,
Like you
I
could
have a
Big
lot
L,
of
the big
music.
Well,
picture is there automatically.
we'll make it easy in no particular order.
Yeah, there's
Okay,
no particular.
I'd have to say
Also, maybe let's go with albums, right? Like
No, that's what I
albums.
mean. Albums.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, all right. Albums, then I would
you do
have to say
five
reasonable
English. You do 5 English and 5 Spanish.
If you want, yeah.
reasonable doubt definitely is
Oof.
an album within my top five that I have
22
to take with
Truths.
me to the island. I'd have to take also Port of Miami by Rick Ross, only because that was
A lot
like
of people
a
sleep
big
on
time.
Ross, man.
That
He
was a
got
big time
some.
for people in Miami. It was finally somebody really breaking out hard, you know. I'd have to say outside of that, man, it's tough. It's a lot of
Big
music.
L, the big picture. Ready to
Big
die,
L, the big
Notorious
picture. Yeah,
B.I.G.
definitely. That's in
What
my
about
top
Pac? What
three.
about Nas? What
Yo,
about Jay?
the Terror Squad album.
I actually,
Uh,
I don't want to get. I want to ask you about that specifically. But before we go there, you could go ahead. You finish what you were
Oh,
saying.
one more. So that's you got two. Let's go with one more. So round up a top three.
man, it's a lot of pressure, bro. It's too much music. I'd have to say, let's show some love. I would pick De Niro's album. I would pick
I would take
his
Cuban
first.
Connection as one of my
Yeah.
10. That's how I feel about that album.
So I would pick that one.
Let's go.
So Terror Squad, right? I always found it interesting. They broke through like the mold where Latin rappers. We had Latin rappers in the game before, but they finally were recognized for the skill.
Hmm.
And I always felt Cuban Link was one of the best in that crew. I forgot to ask De Niro this, but you guys never ever thought of making a record with him?
De Niro has a record with him from quite a while ago.
Wow.
I think it's called "Where You At," and they shot a video to it. They spent a bag on the video too.
Man,
But
his
yeah,
situation, that
they got a
bond
record.
is.
They got a record together.
Would you work with him?
Yeah, of course. I would work with anybody that's willing to work with me and that isn't starting shit with my peoples. So
So how you feel like as a Cuban man seeing the situation he was put through? Um, I honestly feel like if the situation would have been different, he would be in a different space.
I
as
feel
far
like
as
that about a lot of people. I think in that time frame, because that
yeah.
was a time where CDs were dying and the digital era was coming into play.
Okay.
So I feel like a lot of people were battling with not just, you know, retaining fans and putting out content, but you know, back in the day, how De Niro says, if he wanted to sell a CD or get you to listen to his music, you had to jump in a car and drive to Hialeah and buy the
Go
CD.
around.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And now we just drop it. And right now, all of you guys at the same time can download the CD. And it's not, you know, you don't have to go nowhere. You can be outside in your backyard cutting the grass and listening to the CD.
distribution has gotten like that game.
Yeah, he was talking about
I feel like that was a big
DistroKid.
obstacle, not just for him, but for a lot of people, and the people that broke through that and found a way how to just, you know, jump on board with the new world quickly. Adapted, and whoever didn't adapt got left behind. Even
Well,
right now, you buy certain cars and the cars don't come with CD players.
oh, it was hard too because a lot of the companies, like I remember when I was working at MTV3, like you know, even that those platforms, because you know, music videos slowed down because the production at the label slowed down. So
No
like
money.
the promo and a lot of the labels were shutting down too at the time. Like a lot of the small Latin indies that were under Sony and Warner, and you know, working at a label briefly during one of like a beginning of my career, like I saw the pressure that was with that transition because the labels, the older heads, obviously they were still run by older heads, corporate white America,
Mm-hmm.
who didn't want to let go necessarily. And even you saw the big effect in radio where everybody started like panicking. It was like, whoa, what do we do now? How do we know if this is going to work? Because the CD's not selling, but if the CD's not selling, we can't play it. If we can't play it, then so it just became like a big spider web that everybody just was trying to get caught. Everybody, I feel like everybody just got thrown on a spider web. You got caught in it, and either you got out of it or you didn't.
I agree, but the same way that we feel that a lot of, like, you know, what's radio and what's popping, I guess you can say, has been monopolized to an extent. I feel like the other side of that coin too is that we have the ability to get the music out to people. So like if the music is good and you know, the shit's gonna stick at some point. Like whether they like it or they don't like it, no one rocked with, to give you an idea, 6ix9ine. No one knew who CJ was before the Whoopty record. You know, so like that's what I mean. If the shit is hot, whether they like it, don't like it, rock with it, don't rock with it, they gotta play it. If the people want to hear it, they gotta play it. So that's really, you know, that's the approach.
That CJ thing that I've been, I don't, I mean, maybe I shouldn't talk about that. That seems like gossip, right? Right, H? Just the thing that they've been going around that on, like, I've seen social media posts, people
About
say,
what?
you know, that he shouldn't be running around saying whoopty, that there's like a, you know, there's some, it has some sort of significance
There's always
of
to the
some,
blood culture.
of something,
Imagine, my brother, when you're moving the way he's moving, you're a target, bro.
Yeah.
So like, and what I mean by that is like, it's the same thing for you right now. This radio show pops off. To give you an idea on something like Breakfast Club level, to give you an idea like that, imagine you're gonna have people around you that are not gonna like that, bro. You know, they're not gonna like that. They're not, it's the law of life. You know, there's people that are gonna wish well on you and support you, and then there's people that once they see you're winning and they're not a part of your success,
it's gonna be an issue.
Damn. Yeah. So let's talk about what you're working on right now. To me, it sounds like you have more fun making the actual music and then writing and recording it. I think
yes, for
you're
sure,
more
definitely.
of a producer than a rapper. But let's talk about what you're working on right now. You got something dropping
right now?
Friday.
Last album dropped the January 6th with De Niro, the Cuban Connection album. He just dropped the AI video now on Valentine's Day. You know, we shooting another video now for my birthday. My birthday is on the 22nd. So that weekend we're gonna shoot another video.
Let's go.
We got a video called Todo with De Niro that is we put some money into that video too. Yeah, like fire blowing in the back and like a lot. And what else? Well, yeah, basically what we've been working on is I've been finishing a CD with Eddie K, that he's in the, how you were saying, in the more on the Cuban world of what you can, or the realm of what Jaylah was saying. But he's someone that he did a lot of Cuban hip hop, and he was one of like the first Cuban rappers when that movement started moving in Cuba to begin with. and he orchestrated a famous group called Los Cuatro, and he also he was, you know, pivotal in a group called Gente de Zona. I don't know if you've heard of them before.
Of if you have not heard of Gente de
Um,
Zona in the last 3
oh
years,
yeah,
you've been living under a
he has
rock.
music with them too, and that's out right now. He just worked with them like a week ago. He made a song for their album, and I have a whole CD that I'm working on with him and another artist called Marlon Fernandez. That he's a singer. He's a salsa singer.
That's
And the
fun.
whole vibe of the album is exactly what we were saying. I want it to be real Cuban, you know, real Hispanic, real Latin, that when you hear it, it makes you want to dance, it makes you want to move. And at the same time, we add like a hip hop element or a trap element or a dance hall element or something along those lines to fuse it with something else and modernize it to an extent.
Grace wants to know when the Richy Rich Bachata record is gonna
Yo,
drop.
we need to go.
I feel like it's only a
I
matter
need
of
a
time.
bachata record or
I have an
corrido.
artist, Santana, that he's a Dominican artist, and to be honest, there's already like 2 beats that I've made that are on some bachata stuff
Ah.
too. So
Hey.
it's coming soon,
And a corrido, and a
How do
corrido
you
in the
one.
works.
how long do you see, like, obviously New York has had a huge influence on what it is, with what I see being now the new crossover of what is like dembow and a lot of Dominican music. Obviously Romeo did a huge part in
What?
um, wait,
Dembo.
can you let me finish? I finally get to ask.
Go ahead.
No, but like with obviously like you're hearing, El Alfa, and you're hearing Coronao on radio stations like Power 96. You're hearing them on stations like Hot 97. You're hearing it on stations. In our right mind, we would have never thought that 10
Hmm.
years ago, 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Even just that little push through means a lot, because it means now they're starting to open that's to something that's not just reggaeton. You know what I mean? Now it's
100%.
becoming the urban world, Dominican music, Puerto Rican reggaeton. Now you're opening the doors for other fusions. How long do you see that taking with what is the Cuban sound, that Cuban hip hop, or like those
Well,
because
one thing is, as
to hear Alpha and all that, it took a long time. Like it wasn't just an overnight thing.
no, but even then, to an extent, there's a lot of support amongst themselves, the Dominican artists. And what I mean is that they'll speak about each other, even if it's in a good or a bad light. Sometimes, I know they say not all promotion is good, or not all attention is good attention. But in this world, if your name is in the mix, whether you're good or bad,
It's good.
they throw exactly. So, and what I mean by that is like they categorize El Alfa as the #1 Dominican artist, or so to say. But if you really look, like there's so many other Dominican artists that through the door that he opened, they just ran through the door, and now you know of them. To give you
I
ideas,
mean, there
Kiko El
was
Crazy,
yeah.
Cherry Scone, all those other artists that people were like, you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't, Dembo is a thing so much now that Bad Bunny has Dembo music. To give you an idea, he's Puerto Rican. So like there's so many other people outside of just Bad Bunny that are opening that dembo door. I've seen Cuban people from where I live try to do stuff like that. That I'm like, I support it. At the end of the day, it's
I mean,
no
look, it's
matter how
good.
you get there, as long as you get there.
But
'Cause
how long do you see it? Like, do you see that happening in the next 5 years, in the next 10
Oh,
years?
I would say
closer.
I would say maybe 5 to 10 years, maybe. Only because the support in the Cuban world is always a war. There's so much. There's a lot of hate between artists alone off of the success that they're having. Not even so much because of a personal problem, but it's because, oh, he's winning and he's not fucking with me, so fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, but I feel like that sometimes.
and
I got this podcast. I'm like, yo, that podcast is doing this, but I'm not getting this love. I'll be honest. Look, I've been doing X amount. This is episode 90, 93. Yeah, 93. And it happens. I'm pretty sure it's happened to you. You felt like, damn, I'm better than this guy musically, and I don't get the amount. But I guess con todo su tiempo.
yeah, but
Yeah,
there's
bro.
a difference between seeing somebody and feeling motivated and seeing somebody and feeling
Exactly.
hate.
No. I don't feel no hate. I just
No,
saying
not you,
you
not you. What I'm
realize.
saying
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
in the artist world, bro,
Mhm.
they all like it's sad, but if they're not a part of your success, it's almost like fuck your success.
Yeah.
So what happens is that's where I feel like there's the distance between, you know, a lot of Cuban artists is el complejo, you know, the ego. They think that they're Beethoven, and at the end of the day, like they drive up to Georgia and nobody knows who they are. So it's stuff like that if people were to work together, you look at the Atlanta music scene, you look at Puerto Ricans, you look at Dominicans, you know what I'm saying? There's support. There's support.
Like
The other day I saw a video, speaking of El Alfa, where El Alfa was with Kiko el Crazy, and I forgot 2 other artists too that were from Dominican Republic, shooting a movie of a video. And that's what I'm saying. Like, is El Alfa #1 right now in the world? Yes, but like are you really #1 in DR if you're not helping the people in DR? Like,
that's one thing I like about Bad Bunny.
Yeah, man. I feel like
he always
that
goes back and gets like those artists that you don't know the name of, and he
the
does
fact that he kind of came back and brought up did songs with Daddy Yankee, with Zion, you know, like different people.
He went back and he showed love to his OGs, and then he brought up that.
Look at that. Bad Bunny drops an album, and even on the one with the yellow cover, had a record with Don Omar. You know, like he pays tribute, he pays homage to the people that were, you know, that were in the light before him. You feel me? And I feel like that's heavy. That's important, bro. That's big.
You know, they have issues, him and Don Omar, before, right?
Yeah.
He talks about that specific song you just mentioned. He said in an interview that he heard the music. He was like, nah, I got to do a song with Don Omar. Before I die, I got to do a record with him. And he shipped him the beat, and Don Omar liked it. And Don Omar was like, let's do the song. And Bad Bunny just happened to have the other records that are on the album already recorded. And because Don Omar sent him back the song and he heard the song in its entirety, he's like, nah, I got to release these songs now. So the reason that Yellow album came out was because of Don Omar.
That's insane. But you see, he got music with a lot of older Puerto Rican people there too.
But you know what? He was also one of the very few people that, like you were talking about earlier, about not uniting. He was one of the first people that I feel fought for that union between artists. It's like, yo, shut the fuck up. Let's all work. Like, stop your shit.
Yeah, when he first broke out.
That's when, let's be real, Bad Bunny was
Arcángel, him, all those people, when they all joined forces.
No, 100%. There's 7 artists on one track. Look at the Te Boté remix. How many artists? And you're like, yo, that's just
I think Jaylah was on the remix of that too. So
yo, but
she was.
That's a testament to what you were saying, Richie, though, about like the Puerto Rican artists, specifically in like the reggaeton, you know, I guess Latin trap realm, that crossover realm of those artists. They all would manage to say like, yo, you know what? We're going to take this genre and we're going to take a lot of the old stuff, the artists that we have, and we're going to all go into this new thing together so we can all do concerts together and we can all get money together. They created a market. Like that market.
That's when you look at it, no matter what genre you're in, that's the formula, bro. When Jay-Z was popping, he was on tour with Ja Rule and DMX when they were on top of the world.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I mean. Like when you really think of it, that's where the big money's at, is when you're gonna roll around with the other big names that are just as big as you. You know what I'm saying? And you show up and it's not just about you. People are there to see you and 2 other really big acts. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta carry your weight.
100%.
One of the songs you did is Donde Quiera. I like the song for so many reasons. The chorus is fantastic. I feel like you got like an old stylistic singer type on the chorus. And it's like a dance record, but it's a hip hop record. What was the process for that one?
For that one, I had reached out to De Niro about possibly doing a record, and when he told me he's gonna come down on Super Bowl weekend and that we were supposed to work and stuff.
This is last year, Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. I was like, man, I gotta make something, you know, up his alley was what I was thinking, you know, like best of both worlds, in the sense of something up my alley and something up his alley, so that way we can both do our thing on the song.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up making the beat the night before he shows up. And the night he showed up, he had an event that night, like a Super Bowl hosting event that Cardi B was supposed to be at, and a bunch of stuff. And for some reason, he had told me to go to the event. We were going to go to the event, and then the event got canceled because of the rain. It started pouring rain down here, like really, really, really bad. And when that happened, it bought me a little more time to finish working on the song. And my cousin's girlfriend is the singer on that record. She sings for una orquesta in Cuba called Frasis. And she came through and she sung the chorus on the song after I had already put my verse on the song. I told her that I wanted something that represented the Hispanic community, something that represented like all Latins, not just being Cuban, even though obviously De Niro's verse and my verse is primarily talking about like what Cuban heritage and
I
Miami
mean, you
and all
guys are
that
from
stuff.
Florida, yeah. That's the
Exactly. We're talking about what we relate to, but for the most part, the song is tailored to, you know, like that even if you were born here, that you're still Hispanic, you know, because if you really think about it, this is a conversation I was having with somebody the other day. Uh, White people don't see us as American, even if I'm born here.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
Hispanic people don't see me as Hispanic because I wasn't born over there.
Oh yeah, we've had this conversation on the show
So
many
so
times. Yeah.
that identity situation, you know, comes into effect when people start judging your music because they're like, "Whoa, but wait, he's not even really from there, or he's not this, or whatever the case may be." And that's what that record is about, is, you know, like you could have been white, bro, 100% white. And if you're married to a Cuban woman and you've eaten rice and beans quite a bit, that kind of throws you in the mix when you know, and you say your little Cuban bad words and your Cuban lingo and all of what you learned from your boyfriend that's from Hialeah, it all tailors in. It makes you a part of what that is. So that's what that song is about.
What was De Niro's reaction when did he hear the record when it had your verse and her chorus on it, or did he just
I
hear?
sent him a video of just my verse, and then he was like, he sent me like, you know, like super fire, send it through. And I finished the record that night that he bought me that more time. And then the next day we met up at a studio, he dropped his verse, and that was it.
The video is insane, by the way. I don't
I
know where
appreciate
you
it.
guys were at. You're by the water. And then I like the dominoes being played. I like the old school cars that you would see in Cuba, in the backdrop. And the way the singer Rosanna was dressed also gave it the whole flavor. Like you feel like you're in Cuba, not in Miami.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
shot the video in Calle Ocho.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
did you film it in Calle Ocho or like
yeah,
the little park?
yeah. In the Domino Park, we have some scenes in the. We wanted to use primarily, you know, stuff that is gonna give off that vibe. So
and the
we
Guayabera
went.
you was rocking was
Yeah,
official.
we were wearing guayaberas from you know yeah, from Yavera, and everybody was wearing one at the domino table, literally. Um, we shot at Key Biscayne, and after Key Biscayne, we shot in a restaurant, La Quina de la Fama, which is one of De Niro's boys that
Is that the
assisted us with that.
same restaurant that they used in the Plug in Cuba video
It
when he
is the
walks
same
in with
person,
Benny? Okay.
the same owner. It's the same guy, the guy with like the hat.
So when can, I mean, I know the Cuban Connection album just came in and we're plugging that, but is there a Richie Rich full length album coming out this year or early next year? Is that what you're working on now?
I'm pretty much done with it. I'm missing like just mixing and mastering the last two songs, but for the most part, the whole CD is pretty much done. I'm just waiting on for us to finish working this album, so that way we can start working the next one. So that way we can all move together. I feel when we move together, we move stronger. So
Yeah, I mean,
um,
you got to ride this momentum that you got off the
definitely.
record, and then just keep.
And at least on this CD, for sure, I have a record with De Niro, which is we have a video too that's about to drop once I get the green light from everybody involved. We have the record with De Niro. We have a record with Domingo, which Domingo's the dude that sings on Jimmy Copacabana
Domingo's
in
also
Miami.
the opera voice in the second Big Pun album.
Yeah, he's actually the dude that sings Flowers for the
And
Dead
Flowers for the
for
Dead too.
Cuban Link. I have a song with him. I have a song with him and De Niro.
Bro, that's a fucking legendary voice to have
Yeah,
a record too, bro. In terms
he's
of
a
like,
he's a beast.
I think maybe you should also, but that's more of a bonus thing.
Um,
But a record like that, that's perfect for you.
I got a song with him, and then I got a song with him and Dinero. I have a song with Candyman, which he's like I said, he's one of the first, or the first reggaetonero in Cuba.
Uh-huh.
What else? I have
Do
a
you have a
record with
youngin of
Elika.
yours on a record? Like
A
someone
what?
like a young dude that's coming up that you kind of
Yes,
like
I do.
on.
I have a record with Trigger Mike on my album, which is another artist, the dude I did Supply and Demand with.
Uh-huh.
I have a record with Ayo Ran, which is another artist here from Miami. Santana, the Dominican artist that I told you about. This he has like some bachata trap records that he's working on and some dembos too.
Yeah.
I like working with upcoming talent that's from where I'm from too, because I feel like it creates the identity that we look for as artists. And what I mean
Mm-hmm.
by that is when you think of Terror Squad, you think of that Latin hip hop. When you
Mm-hmm.
think of the
Beat
Locks,
Nuts.
you think of that style. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I feel like no one really does the fusion of what salsa music is and song and all that, those Latin roots, along with a more modern style rap and hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's too many people doing it, you know what I'm saying, and people that do it good. So I feel like that's definitely it's the window we're trying to jump through.
Do you
Oh,
have, is there a single that you already have in mind in like this project? Or
I
is that
think
like
it's
a
todo.
process? Like, is, you know what I mean?
Ahora
Like, you wait
ellos.
till everything's completed and you take a seat back and you're like, all right, I want this.
Um,
You already kind of have one in mind.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I can't even pick one song because I'm planning on I'm planning on treating them all the same way. Like, and what I mean is a lot of times people want to drop singles because they feel like they get more out of every record, they work every record more
Yeah.
versus dropping an album when people it's a lot of music goes over people's heads when you drop an album because not everyone is gonna sit down and ride the whole thing through from front to back. So, in my opinion, I'm gonna drop a couple singles prior to dropping the album, and then once the album drops, I'm gonna drop videos from that same album and work the album, almost as if every record is a single. Like, because I feel like the same thing with the Cuban Connection album, every record is different.
Yeah.
I don't have two songs that sound the same on the CD, so that's why I feel like it could be anyone, you know. I have that record with Candyman, since his strength is more reggaeton and dance hall. That's what that song is. It's a dance hall reggaeton vibe, you know, and that's not really something I do typically. So it's something out of what I generally do for the most part. The record with Domingo sings great. So you could just imagine, you know,
Yeah.
based on his past records, what that's gonna sound like. Dinero always does his thing no matter what he's on. So
Yeah.
um you know, Torres, definitely we're gonna get something in with Torres too. We've been working lately,
He
so
said he's got a
that's
couple things with you.
so
That's
yeah, no,
already
we
bubbling.
finished one recently. So there's a lot of music. Yomili Danny's artist too. His name is Chesco. We got a song called El Jefe, which is like some drill music, like kind of like the Pop Smoke vibe, you know.
oh, I fuck
And
with
I feel like it's something new. Like I said, we're I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, but at the same time, we're trying to build the image, the identity that we're shooting for.
Yo, can I tell you this, man? Uh, research bachatas rojas,
I
right?
will.
These are like the vintage bachatas, right?
You talking about Juan Liguera?
Follow my train of thought, and we're gonna check in with you. But listen to them, right? And I feel that you could pull some really good drill beats out of them. You know,
That doesn't sound like a bad idea, bro.
I'm waiting for the Richy Rich bachata record. So let's have some fun with Richy Rich. I think we should do distorted images first. So we took 5 images from your uh, social media world and we have distorted them. Justin, let me know if I'm gonna pin his screen. Do you see
let's see how
distorted
you did with
pictures?
this. Can you see the ring that says distorted pictures?
Distorted
I
pictures.
do. I see it.
That's the only one you see, right?
Nah, I see all you guys. And
All
that
right.
one.
So, Justin, let's go with the first one.
Come on.
Oof.
So the way I do
that's-
these things, you gotta try. Crazy's gonna give you the hint, but I'm also tell you, you gotta try to look at the colors
The
to
colors.
figure out
Yeah, you wanna
what the
focus on
photo
the
is.
colors.
Yeah, that's definitely from the Babalu Aye video.
Are
That
you
has to be.
sure?
I think so.
Let's see.
Don't
Justin,
let him intimidate you.
Justin
Yeah, I
revealed
think
the
so.
image.
Yeah,
It is. It is. He got it.
Understand how people see these things. I would be so bad at this game.
Yo,
So
yeah. I don't even
you
know.
know
That's
what?
why I was like, man, maybe it's not.
Let's go with the next one.
That's the Todo video.
Is
That
he
one's a little
correct?
easier. That one's a little passable.
Okay. So that's the video that you were referencing to earlier.
That's the video that we're dropping next.
Let's go to the next one, Justin.
That's from the Donde Quiera video.
Is he correct? I mean, you're 3 for 3 so far.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
So let's go to the next one, Justin. Oh, I don't even remember what this
That's
photo is. I'll be honest with you.
that's a studio picture pointing at the camera like this.
Let's see. Is he correct?
Ah, I was
Oh, you
close.
were in the studio.
I mean, you were in the studio in all fairness.
Yeah, it's from that same day though. It's from that same day.
Was this 4 for 4? I think there's one more that we have, right,
Damn, you're
Justin?
pretty good at this shit because most people
You're
don't.
Damn.
4 for 4 so far.
Yeah, you see this one right here is difficult. I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know.
You don't know?
Wild guess.
The colors.
I guess like I don't know. I would say a picture of me. It's on my Instagram, right? So I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a smart
No
answer.
idea.
Justin, what is this photo? Let's see.
Damn, that's an old one.
Throwback one right there.
So we try to get some throwback photos in there. That's you making beats.
Yeah.
Let's do this or that. Now,
Keyboard, that's a chord.
a chord key.
No. Well, we have a chord though.
It looked like a chord that I have.
I mean, that's not the same studio, right? This is the one you're in
No,
now.
that's a different studio.
So the next segment is this or that. This was the 5 or 4, I think, that we did with Dinero. We're gonna do them with you as well.
Let's do it.
So let's go with the first one. This or that. Ropa vieja or caldo gallego.
That's easy. Ropa vieja for sure.
That was Dinero.
Yo, what's caldo gallego?
Bro.
It's
my
good too,
mother-in-law,
but
she makes it.
but
I'm
yeah.
gonna get you a plate, Craze.
It's like a soup.
It's
something
a soup.
like that.
Yeah, it's a soup with
Like
beans.
an
chicken.
Like a
acapella?
stew. It's like a
Like a
stew.
Okay. I'm with it.
Justin, let's go to the next one. Football or basketball?
Basketball.
Basketball.
Die hard fan. Miami
So you're
Heat
not a
fan.
I was
Dolphin.
gonna say you
You're a
better say
Dolphins
Heat
fan.
Nation.
Miami Heat.
Big time.
Better say Heat Nation.
And you're a Marlins
Big
fan
time
as
Miami
well?
Heat fan. What's up?
You're a Marlins fan as well?
I don't watch baseball the way I used to, but I'm a hometown fan. Like I
Oh,
rep
okay.
the home team. I'm not the guy that's like, rooting for Golden State and
Yeah, I don't.
Oh,
You
you're
don't
not a
jump off
bandwagon?
bandwagon.
Oh, that. Wait. So wait. Half the Floridians actually go for the Dolphins and the other half don't. So are you a Dolphins fan?
I root for them. I root for them if I'm watching them play, but it's not like a priority of mine to watch their games, because when it was a priority of mine to watch their games, you were continuously let down, and it was a difficult thing to
Oh
deal
no,
with.
So you're more Dolphins
that's
over
the
10.
only good. That's the only streak they know how to win.
It sounds like you're a Jets fan.
Is letting us know.
I'm a Jets fan, so I understand.
Crazy is a Jets fan. He knows.
I don't
what
watch
the team
football,
is.
but if I had to pick, I always go with the Giants.
And I'm like you. I'm a home team fan really, because I really don't have no like vested interest in sports. But when it comes to like football, I fuck with it, and I like the Jets. But
I would be, if I moved
yeah.
to Miami, I would still be like a Mets.
You think
Because
so?
I'm from New York, I would be a Mets.
Yeah.
Giant.
Yeah, but that's a different story because that's your hometown,
Yeah,
But I would also.
You could dump me right now in Washington, and I'm gonna wear this Marlins hat like it's the best thing in the world, my brother.
Okay. So let's go to the next one, Justin. Let's see what else. Oh, so the name of this episode is Cohiba con Ron. Actually, that's one of your lines on which record?
That is.
Donde quiera, right?
That is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely go with Cohiba though. I'm more of a smoker than a drinker for sure.
So you don't like no beer, no alcohol, just more.
No, I'll have a drink, but I mean, I'm not gonna get wasted with you for sure.
So you prefer
I'm
having
with
a
that.
nice smoke
I like that too.
other than like a drunk. Crazy the
Definitely.
smoker, I'm the drinker, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's all right.
He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Crazy, like, yeah.
I don't really drink, bro. Like I'm more of like
Nah, he does not, man. I had to force him
He's
to
a
drink.
hookah.
Yeah, you just
Crazy
gotta
the
pull up. You gotta pull up con la fachada roja, bro. One day is what you gotta do, bro.
yo, I got you.
Let's go to the next
I'm
one.
gonna send you one.
Latin trap or hip hop? Does it
I
matter
feel like
what you classify it as?
I feel like it's the same thing, but I guess the younger generation likes to divide them. So if I had to pick, I'm more of a fan of Cohiba and Tempo and things like that than I am of the newer generation. I feel like we were speaking, I feel like the substance in the music is just so much better. Now the production, I feel like music has evolved, you know, so I do feel like from a production standpoint, I do like some of what the newer sound is. So I would probably, I'm in the middle, man. I can't lean more one way than another. I'd have to go with them both.
I
Is
think
there
Don
is there
Dinero made
another
it.
one, Justin? No,
No,
go ahead, Chris. Finish.
I think Don Dinero made a point of it saying that like Latin trap is something that's inside of hip hop.
Of hip hop,
Yeah, for
So
sure,
he
for
was
sure.
like,
It's a child of hip hop.
yeah. So Miami or New York? This is more
Oh,
because
without a doubt.
Genero's.
Without a doubt, I'm
Well,
gonna have to go with Miami, my brother. Just because in December it's cold for 6 days. I walk outside with my hoodie on.
You're right.
It's chilling. I don't have to shovel no snow. I don't have to worry about none of those things.
when was the last time you came?
That's
to
what
New
I
York?
keep telling Rick, bro. Like he doesn't understand that we don't have to live this way. That we conditioned to think that we got to deal with this.
I've actually heard a lot of people are leaving up there to come down here. So
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
that's why it's so expensive
it's-
down here right
it's-
now.
it's
Everything
true.
has gone crazy.
Jaylah, you New York and Miami. What do you prefer? The same thing? No, she want to be. You see? All right, we still
I'm in
got
New
it.
York, sorry.
Let's do 3, 2, 1.
Jayla likes that high shit. That's it.
I'm a masochista, bro. We already know this.
So, what are 3 things you've been watching during? Well, basically this year that we've been mostly inside, like the
In the
pandemic.
pandemic.
Yes.
Word.
I'm not much of a TV person, but I would have to say my girlfriend always has Grey's Anatomy on TV, so I have no choice but to watch it.
That's a good show, man. I mean, it's a
I
ton
would
of.
have to say. Now I'm being honest.
It's a great show.
I would have to say.
It is a good show.
I would have to say that. I would have to say there's this new show called Lupin.
Yo,
It's pretty interesting.
In Netflix, yes.
really good.
It's pretty fire. And I've been watching the Rick H show on YouTube.
That's
cool.
No, you have not.
Oh.
And what about La Casa de Papel? You have you ever seen that one?
I gave it a
The
shot,
Money
man,
Heist?
but it didn't hit me like it hit some other people. The same thing with Ozark. People tried recommending Ozark to me,
Nah,
and it
I
was
did
good.
3
It was good.
episodes
But
of Ozark, and I couldn't like.
What
it was
about
just really down for me. Like I need something a little faster paced to keep me awake, bro, because I'd be tired.
The Wire? Have you ever seen The Wire?
The Wire. I've seen The Wire before.
Okay, I'm trying to see if I think of something. I'll hit you up. 2 things you've been listening to besides your music.
I've been listening to. I'd have
Lately.
to say, huh?
Lately.
Lately, that album of the movie that Nipsey Hussle and Jay-Z have a record on, I gave that album a listen to. It's really good and it's
A lot
really
of
different.
Brainiac beats. You and Brainiac beats. I'm imagining.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's really what we listen to all day. But definitely, I'd have to say that album. I've been listening to that. I listen to a lot of older music, to be honest with you. I listen to.
Give me one.
to everything.
Give me something. What
I'd
device
have
you
to
got? You got an iPhone? Something like if we grab your
Yeah.
iPhone right now,
Right now,
what's
let me
some-
see.
What's the most recent played?
Yeah.
Cocuyuela, Santa Cos,
Okay. So there you
to
go.
give you an idea.
you really-
Almighty has an album called La Bestia from a couple years back. I was
Yeah.
listening to that. I like listening to guys that can rap, you know, because
you
I'm
feel
in that
about,
world, bro. You have to
Almighty,
exercise that muscle.
I really
Huh?
liked Almighty when he first came out.
Yeah, that's what That's what I was listening to.
Yeah. When he first came out, I feel like after a while, I don't know. I mean, no disrespect. I think he's a good artist in general.
He's Cuban. He was born in Cuba.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Is he like Arcangel, where Arcangel's like
Almighty was born in Cuba.
he's Puerto Rican, but he was raised in DR, Arcangel, or is the other way around, something like that? Where
Arcangel, I don't know, but I do know for a fact Almighty was born in Cuba for sure.
Oh, that's interesting, bro. Lyrical ass dude. I feel like in his earlier stuff.
And he's different, you know. Like when you listen to him, you don't think like, man, he sounds like Drake, or he sounds like this guy, or he sounds like that guy. He sounds like him, you know.
well, that's one of the things that you have, man. Your voice is different, and you can go with a melody and sing, and also you spit bars. It's pretty.
And Rick, you were saying Arca was born in New York to Dominican parents, but he was raised in Puerto Rico.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Because I know Osuna's both.
And Cocuyuela's dad or mom, I'm not sure, but one of them is Cuban too. So his
and now in the United States,
I can see that now that you say it.
Immigration
now that
department.
You say that about Coco, like he could see the like in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that the head of the immigration department in the U.S. is now Cuban?
Oh, really?
I didn't know.
Yes. Also, the guy that
I hope that has a positive
Cuban,
impact.
We're not talking about that, man. What's one thing you look to accomplish in 2021?
I'd like to win a Grammy.
A Grammy, not the Latin one. Like an actual.
I'll take a Latin one too. You can give me You can give me a Russian one. You can give me whichever kind of Grammy you want to give me. I'll take whichever Grammy you want to give me.
Would you eventually? Last question. Would you eventually get into acting?
Yes, I would. And I actually have a friend who's directing a movie which is about basically like the Miami rap scene and the streets of what this is down here and stuff like that. And I'm not the lead actor, nada por ese estilo, but I am playing a role in the movie, and we're gonna have some other people that I'm sure you guys have seen in other places also in the movie. So it should be interesting. It's gonna be good.
Richie, my brother, welcome to the family. You're allowed to come on this show whenever you want. If it's to promote the material or you just want to jump on an episode one day. Like if we have somebody, you're like, yo, I want to talk to that person. I want
to make a diss song and I want to jump on right now. No.
Anything.
So, bro, this show is your show.
I appreciate you, my brother.
I appreciate
Big time.
You taking
Thank
time
you guys for having me.
Sit with us. Richy Rich, ladies and gentlemen, from Miami, Hialeah's own. Thank you. The album. The Don Dinero album. I told Craze to listen to it. He listened to it.
I really fuck with the album.
Cuban Connection. He's like
your right hand man.
My right hand man.
Rich, we about to do this bachata
track.
Yes, sir.
Shit, so
bachata Latin trap record.
Look out for it, Richy Rich 305. Thank you.
Let's do it.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Much success. Brainiac, what up, bro?
Yo, next week we're doing dating. We're gonna be fielding some of Jaylah's fiancés. We're trying to get Jaylah
on 90 Day Fiance.
I missed one episode, and I'm already on blast with some white boy. Was really good.
Wait,
in your big leagues now.
Yo, so we're trying to get Jaylah on 90 Day Fiance. Next week. We're gonna be interviewing some possibly one, maybe two of her perspective.
Listen,
possible candidates.
At this point, my love life has gone to shits. Being in Miami is not going to help anymore. At this point, why not?
Look, maybe this can be a candidate for you.
Oh yes, I'm sure my 5-year-old would love it.
Let's go.
We'll have UFC fighter Mike Rodriguez next week, along with Jaylah's future Dominican husband from 90 Day Fiance. Richy Rich, thank you for your time, my brother.
Arranged marriage.